To qualify for the base 10 points, and if applicable, the additional 10 points, you'll need to log in to the Sustainable Jersey website, submit the required data, and upload supporting documentation. Let's walk through this process. To begin the process, you'll need to log into your Sustainable Jersey account. Then you'll click on the Energy tab and then the Energy Tracking and Management tab to access the Action Submissions page. At the top of the Action Submissions page, in the Request Points section, indicate the number of points your documentation will support. 10 points for the Mandatory Building Inventory and Tracking and Management System alone, or 20 points for both the Mandatory Building Inventory and Tracking and Management System and the optional benchmarking and ongoing tracking and reporting. For the base 10 points in the text box on the submission page, you'll need to provide a short narrative of what you've done and or plan to do to fulfill the requirements of this action, including a description of the energy tracking and management system that you've selected to track and manage the energy use of your building portfolio, summary description of your building portfolio inventory, and summary of your 12-month energy baseline. The narrative description submittal should summarize what you've done and or plan to do to implement an effective energy tracking and management system in your jurisdiction. The narrative will be helpful as a descriptive summary of the current conditions in your portfolio and any energy actions you have already taken, and it will serve as a useful baseline for energy actions you take in the future. The narrative should also include a description of the energy tracking and management system you've selected and any information you choose to provide on why you selected this particular system and how you plan to use it going forward. Here is an example narrative from Bogota. After the narrative, you'll need to upload a summary of the core descriptive information on your building portfolio, including name, address, year built, square footage, and occupancy. This can be an Excel spreadsheet or table like the one pictured here. Or if you're using Portfolio Manager, this information will already be incorporated in the Statement of Energy Performance Report, which you'll also be submitting. We'll talk about this again later on. Next, you need to provide a summary of the prior 12-month energy baseline information that you've collected. Here's an example spreadsheet of the 12-month baseline summary for our community center, which uses natural gas and electricity from the grid. Portfolio Manager makes submissions for the base 10 points easy. Portfolio Manager provides a downloadable spreadsheet that satisfies all submission requirements. From the My Portfolio tab, simply click on Download your entire portfolio to Excel. Here's the Excel report for our test portfolio. It includes a tab with all the details for our buildings, which serves as our building portfolio inventory, and a tab listing all of our meter entries, which satisfies both the 12 months of data collection and the data entry requirements. If you're using Portfolio Manager, you'll need to share your portfolio with Sustainable Jersey. You'll first need to connect with Sustainable Jersey in Portfolio Manager. Doing so is simple. Click on the Contacts tab, enter Sustainable Jersey in the Organization text box, and click Search. Then, in the search results, click the Connect button for Sustainable Jersey. Once Sustainable Jersey receives and accepts your request, you'll receive a confirmation that you're now connected and can share your portfolio with Sustainable Jersey. To share properties, click on the Sharing tab and select the properties you want to share from the drop-down menu. Select Sustainable Jersey from the Select People drop-down, choose Permissions, select Read Only, and hit Continue. After sharing your property, you'll see notifications on your My Portfolio page and Sharing tabs that the sharing request was sent, as well as notification when Sustainable Jersey has accepted your sharing request. Detailed instructions for sharing properties can be found on the Portfolio Manager site. Once you've completed uploading the narrative, the building portfolio description, and the utility data, you've completed the submission process for the base 10 points. To achieve an additional 10 points for this action, you'll need to submit benchmarking reports for each of the buildings in your portfolio and Submit a description of your ongoing plan to track and manage the energy performance of these buildings. The type of benchmarking reports you submit will depend on how the buildings in your portfolio were benchmarked in the first place. Reports are available from 3 different sources: free benchmarking reports prepared through the New Jersey Clean Energy Program, equivalent benchmarking reports from another service or tool, or statements of energy performance from Portfolio Manager. At a minimum, each report must include each building's energy use and a comparison to the average of similar buildings using national medians. The benchmark described in the report should have been completed within the last 12 months of the date of the certification application. Here's an example benchmarking report using Portfolio Manager called a Statement of Energy Performance. This is for the community center building that we've been tracking. You can see that the data provided includes the building's energy use and a comparison to the average of similar buildings using national medians. If Portfolio Manager has been used to benchmark a building, creating a report is a simple one-click operation. However, you'll need to provide this Statement of Energy Performance report for each building in your portfolio. In addition to the benchmarking reports, you'll also need to submit a plan for how you're going to use your energy tracking and management system on an ongoing basis to monitor and hopefully improve the energy performance of your portfolio. This narrative description plan should include, at a minimum, identification of the assigned staff, timeline for updating energy usage information, and, if you're using a third-party energy tracking and management system, provide evidence of the contract. Please note that the third party must guarantee to update information monthly. Examples of narrative descriptions can be found by visiting Sustainable Jersey's website and viewing the submissions of other New Jersey municipalities. Above is an example from Chatham Borough's submission for the base and additional 10 points for the energy tracking and management action. Once your benchmarking reports and your ongoing energy tracking and management plan have been submitted and accepted by Sustainable Jersey, you'll receive the additional 10 points for this action. Please note, this is an initial certification for the 10 points. You'll need to recertify your energy tracking and management plan after a year to continue to qualify for the additional 10 points. For recertification, either after the expiration of the initial certification or to gain more points, submit evidence of tracking and reporting over the 12-month period prior to the certification submission. When submitting for recertification, both the base 10 points and the additional 10 points can be earned for a total of 20 points as long as a recent 12-month baseline is uploaded and a recent benchmark report is provided with evidence that the ongoing tracking and management process is being used. Note: to renew the points for this action, your data must be from within 12 months of the documentation submission deadline.